Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you a first impression and demo on the new BECCA Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed Champagne Glow Palette. This is limited edition, although it is still available on the Sephora website. It was released 27. It is $34 and it comes with 3 different shades. This palette was not created by Jaclyn Hill, but it does have her specific highlighter that she created with BECCA and Champagne Pop inside of it. I have yet to swatch it. My first impression is going to be real as can be. So let's just go ahead and dive into this baby. So like I just showed you, here's the packaging. My lights are completely blowing it out. I apologize. And this is what the palette looks like. When I first saw this palette online, I thought it was going to be, why was that upside down? I thought this was going to be a lot smaller. So I am actually pleasantly surprised that this is not super tiny, but I'm just going to be picky for 1 second. You see how this says BECCA Jaclyn Hill here, but if you turn it around, everything else is upside down. Is that normal? I don't think packaging is supposed to be like that. I think when you're supposed to turn it around, it's like supposed to be face, kind of go with the, right? Whatever, it doesn't really matter, but here you go. So we have Pearl, we have Champagne Pop, and we have Blushed Copper. Both Champagne Pop and Blushed Copper are limited edition shades, although they are still available. You can still buy them at Sephora. I think I actually just saw Blushed Copper at Ulta the other day. So limited edition, I mean, it's been around for a while, so I don't know how limited that can be. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like when you open it up. Blushed Copper, Champagne Pop, and Pearl. And it comes with a little protector. I wonder how many ounces is in this. Let's see. All the product in here equals 0.25 ounces. And for a regular $38 Shimmering Skin Perfector, it has 0.28 ounces. So, I mean, the price is kind of justified. I get why it's $34, but everything looks really, really pretty in here. I thought that Blushed Copper, because I saw it in store and I vaguely remember what it looks like. I was never really into Blushed Copper. It looks pretty much like copper. It is on the warm side, so if you're not a fan of warm, then you probably won't like that. Champagne Pop I already love. A lot of people don't like it. They say that it doesn't go with their skin tones. But for me, being an NC 15 right now, because I'm super pale, it's perfect for my skin. It actually goes really, really well with, I believe, yellow olive undertones. And Pearl is the one that I'm actually worried about because that baby looks really light. I think for a highlight, this may only work for extremely fair people, but for the sake of this video and this demo, I'm going to demo these as they were marketed. This as an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight. This as your highlight that goes above your cheekbones, on the little tip of your nose if you're into that kind of thing, and on your Cupid's bow, and this as a bronzer topper. Is it a bronzer topper or a blush topper? I wouldn't wear that as a blush topper, so we're gonna top this on our bronzer. How about that? So let's get swatching. I'm gonna swatch all 3, first on my fingers and then on the back of my hand. This is what they look like. Really, really pretty. I really, really love that Blush Copper, actually. It looks really nice. And then on the back of my hand, that is what they look like. You see, I think Champagne Pop is perfect for my skin tone. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I personally do. Pearl, Champagne Pop, Blushed Copper. I will say that Blushed Copper looks a little bit glittery, a little bit chunky, but I think it would look really nice. I actually like the tone of it. I thought it was gonna be way more orange, but it actually is pretty coppery. Champagne Pop, I already own Champagne Pop, so I know it's gonna be this gold highlight. A dupe for Champagne Pop can be Laura Geller's Gilded Honey. Pearl is very unique. It's very, very, very light. I do believe they already have this in the liquid form, and this is the first time it's in pressed form. Let's go ahead and start with the demo. So for the sake of this demo, I did not put any highlighter on or any bronzer on. I'm gonna do this all with you guys so you can see what it looks like in real time. First, I'm going to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. And I'm gonna take this product here. I'm gonna pat it onto my brush. Oh, okay, that's like super powdery. Most of the product left my brush. So I'm gonna pack it and I'm not gonna tap it off. I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight the inner corner, as so. So this shade here is very powdery. Like I said, I noticed when I pack it onto my brush and then I tap it out, most of the product floats up into the air. So I'm just gonna pat it on my brush and not tap it out. And then we're gonna highlight the brow bone. So that's what it looks like so far. I actually really like this shade. Oh my God. Despite the fact that it's powdery, I mean, most highlighters I've noticed are very powdery. It's super, super stunning. We're gonna highlight this corner. I really do like this a lot, actually. I can see all the powder flying around. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. I really do love that. Now we're gonna take Champagne Pop, which is my favorite. I really do love this highlighter a lot. I'm just gonna brush it onto the top of my cheekbones. Big shame. I already know that I like Champagne Pop, but I do know that owning it, it is very, very soft, so it will break. I will show you right now that my actual Champagne Pop, like the full-size Champagne Pop, I have this little thing in here to kind of keep it tighter, but it did break. I think everyone's Champagne Pop breaks, but it did break right here. It's held up pretty well though. I will say that it did hold up pretty well. And I know this is not the best way to keep it from breaking, but that's just a solution that I do. I don't really travel, so that works for me. So I'm gonna finish up here, Champagne Pop. I'm gonna do a little bit on the tip of my nose. I don't like to accentuate my nose too much because look at this baby. It ain't cute, let's be real here. And then I'm gonna do on my cupid's bow. I normally don't use this brush, but my other brush is really dirty. And I'm not gonna show that on camera because you guys, that ain't cute. Okay. So these are like the usual areas that I highlight. I wanna make sure that it's well blended because I don't like looking like I have just a stripe of highlighter. So now for bronzer, I'm gonna use my cream bronzer. This is Chanel Soleil de Tan Chanel. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my bronzer. And I'm not trying to contour, I am just bronzing. Very lightly, just a very light bronze. Because it is fall, it is not summer. Just on the areas that the sun would normally hit. I'm not being precise because like I said, we are just bronzing. I didn't realize how annoying my bracelets are. Ooh, they are chinkling everywhere today. And now we're going to use the shade Blushed Copper in here, and I'm gonna take a bigger brush. Gonna dab it on there, pat it off. Okay, this one isn't as powdery actually, so I can tap off the excess. I'm trying to go in with a very light hand because I'm not trying to look like a penny. But I could see this as a blush bronzer topper. Like a mixture, it's very pretty. Ooh, I went ham on my right hand, on my right side. Just gonna dust a little bit on my temple. Whatever the excess is on my brush is what I'm gonna dust on there. It reminds me of the Balm Desert. I actually really like it, so I could see this topping a blush or a bronzer. It could definitely work like that just to add a little bit more of an oomph, especially if you're using a matte bronzer or blush and you just want a little bit of a glow, you know what I mean? Am I going too ham right now? I'm probably going real ham right now. So I have no more product on this brush and I'm just gonna go ahead. My baby hairs are just like, they are not having it today, I'll tell you that. So the first impression of this product is I really, really do like it. I think these colors really complement my skin tone. I love Pearl on my brow bone and my inner corner. I think it looks stunning. Obviously, I am a huge fan of Champagne Pop, and Blushed Copper I was pleasantly surprised about because I thought it was going to be really orange, and I'm not a fan of extremely orange toppers for blush or bronzer. I think the swatches can be a little misleading because when you swatch, you're getting dense pigmentation of the product. Although it did kind of look powdery and chunky on my hand, particularly Blushed Copper and Pearl, I think translated onto the face, they give a beautiful, nice little glow and sheen to your skin. Do I think this product is worth it? I mean, it all depends on if you like these colors. I thought I wasn't going to be very impressed with it because, I don't know, the marketing was a little gimmicky for me, and I'm not into super gimmicky marketing, but I will say that I am pleasantly surprised, and I could see myself using it for days and I want to feel pretty and bronzy. I think this is the perfect palette. I would just keep your skin tone in mind when it comes to this palette because I don't believe this palette is going to work for every skin tone. I think Pearl will be a very beautiful highlight for those with extremely fair skin. I think Champagne Pop works best for people with yellow or olive undertones in terms of a highlight, and Blush Copper I think will be a little bit too coppery and warm for those with bare skin. So honestly, I think the type of people who should really look into this palette are those with my type of skin tone, yellow, olive undertones. The price is justified, $34 for 0.255 ounces of product. Makes sense, especially when you take into consideration that a full-size Shimmering Skin Perfector from Becca is 0.28 ounces and runs for $38. You are paying more per ounce for each individual, but if you're the type of person who doesn't like one shade or doesn't like, you know, 2 shades in this palette, then I would just suggest going out and buying the individual shade that you do prefer. Pearl is going to be coming out in January, I believe. Champagne Pop and Blush Copper, like I said, are already available at Sephora. They're still available, although they are limited edition. I don't know when they're going to be pulled from the store. If you don't want all 3, then just go out and purchase one. I think I could probably even get away with using this as eyeshadow because the colors, as you can see here, are pretty much similar to the colors I'm wearing on my eye right now, and these are my favorite colors. So yeah, there is my first impression and demo. Have you guys gone out and purchased it, or will you be purchasing it? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the products. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. And I'm deepening up the edges. Any edge that I feel like needs to be overly exaggerated, I'm just going all out with this color.